the US commercial business is partly being reflected right now. But actually, if you look at some of the bigger contracts that they secured, they don't call it a backlog, but there is a long way to go, and there's a big opportunity. And I was reading your note. That's why you've upgraded a lot of your estimates.
Yes. The U.S. commercial strength is just a result of what we have been discussing in the past. Palantir is positioned at the right place, at the right timing to benefit from actually being able to operationalize all this AI momentum and all this AI demand. And U.S. is actually embracing that with the size of the contracts they are seeing is also very, very amazing. If you look at the trailing 12-month average spending per U.S. customer, that is up like 67%. And it's not just new customers that are ramping faster, but also legacy customers that have been using this orchestration or ontology for a while that are ambitious, and they want to actually keep incorporating the benefits of AI into their businesses.
Right. I always remind myself, what does Palantir do? Palantir makes AI-powered software that helps companies and governments either analyze their data or make decisions on their data or automate data-related processes, right? Simple as that. But the takeaway in the story that Alex Karp and Palantir want to tell is owning the means of production in the AI context. Are they showing evidence that they're helping customers do that?
Well, actually, when you meet at their conferences with customers are really happy about it. And the reality is that they have tried. They have tried to just implement it themselves, and it's not that easy. Palantir has been orchestrating not only this data analytics platform, but how the decision-making actually works with that. And all this human interaction with AI. It's really hard to have that digitalized, and Palantir has been doing that for decades. So customers are happy about it, and customers are actually leaning into that opportunity.
Palantir's US growth, 115%. Its international revenues growing at 33%. But Europe is a story there, right? Europe's much slower, and Palantir continues to kind of express open frustration about that. What's going on in that market?
I think what happened in Europe, particularly, I'm going to speak about what we do. We call Palantir from the aerospace and defense industry, and we're seeing that a lot. Post the Ukraine, there is this urge for European countries to don't depend that much on US technologies. They don't need to, they need to actually have domestic solutions. So it's the two phases of sovereignty, in my way, that is actually trapping Palantir in the middle. Because while Palantir actually gives a really good sovereign AI platform for you to own your IP, for you to be able to benefit from both open models and frontier models, and actually have all those learnings for yourself and proprietary data. On the other end of sovereignty, they are a really outspoken American company. So that's part of the noise. And
Mariana, you talk about part of Palantir's secret sauce being how they price. They price their offering on measurable outcomes. In other words, here's what we actually did for you. Now pay us this. How unique is that in this space?
I think that's starting to be more popular, and the FDEs and the ontologies are also getting more popular on other software companies' approach and go-to-market strategy. The difference is Palantir actually partners with their customers. They care about their problems, they care about their mission, and this is how they price their outcomes and they price their solutions. And this is why they are able to have 55% cash margins, because as they produce profits for their customers, they can also produce them for themselves.
Just real quick, ontology is basically the digital model of how a company's business works in the real world. Really, really quick, your price target's $255. There's about $100 to go. This is a turning point for them?
I do think Palantir is growing into that valuation. It's still down versus last November peaks. And if you look at the estimates, it continued to actually execute not only in line with expectations, but even faster than expected. So I think that bodes more than the market derating on general derating and also AI themes. Palantir is outgrowing that.